Welcome to another exercise for the workbook statistics. This time I'm going to talk about measures of central tendency, or rather about quantiles, quartiles and percentiles. The exercise here is simply Hans owns a whiskey collection and the following data set summarizes the age of the bottles he owns, giving us those 9 values. And our task now calculate based on the data set the statistics required for the construction of a box plot. Before we, however, start with this task, we're going to reorder the data set. So we're going to take this data set and then order this in an ascending fashion, starting with the smallest values and always increasing this until we get to the largest values. We're going to do this because this will make our work in the next part much easier. So, we're going to use this ordered data set and now we can actually start our work. For the box plot we need 5 statistics. We're going to start with the lower bound, with the lower antenna, which is given via the minimum. So we're going to calculate the minimum, which in my ordered data set simply is the first observation, the smallest value, which here is 12. Then I continue with the first quartile. For the first quartile, or also the 25% percentile, I'm going to multiply the 0.25 with the number of observations. Here I have 9 observations, so I'm going 0.25 times 9, which gives me 2.25. Since this is not an integer, I'm going to round this up. That's what these half brackets actually mean. I'm always going to round up. Even though here I have 2.25, usually I would round down, those half brackets mean always rounding up. Well, rounding up from 2.25 gives me 3, so I'm taking here as the first quartile the third observation, which is this 12. Then, next one would be the median. The median has different formulas depending on whether I have an even or an odd number of observations. Here I already mentioned I have 9 observations, so I have an odd number. In this case, I'm going to take the middle one, or rather, in this case, I could also go 9 plus 1 divided by 2 gives me 5, so I'm taking observation 5, which incidentally is exactly the one in the middle. 4 observations on the left, 4 observations on the right. Well, that's the median. Then I need the third quartile. Third quartile I can determine similarly to the first one, as in here I have the 75% percentile, so I'm multiplying 0.75 with 9, giving me 6.75. Again, that's not an integer, so I'm going to round this up, giving me 7, and I take the observation from position 7, so the 23. So that's almost it, because I'm only missing the last value, that's the maximum, which incidentally is also the last value from my dataset. So I can simply copy this here. So already having this ordered dataset makes the rest of these calculations much easier, especially a minimum and a maximum. Well, that's already everything there is to this short exercise. So I hope you enjoyed it. I say goodbye and see you next time.